Thank you, everybody, for joining us to this session on the data visualization, where we're going to be showing how to use a forecast and a trend line. That's how to use a forecast and a trend line in data visualization. So let's create a new workbook and let's see how we can use the forecast and the trend line. So let's say create. And we'll create a workbook, and let's start in the funds expenditure subject area. So we'll say funds expenditures, add to workbook. We'll put in some fields and then we'll do the forecast and the trend line. Now the forecast and the trend line typically works on a measure that is measured over time. For example, let's go to the fund transactions and get a measure. Maybe we'll even get two measures. Let's take the expenditure amount for electronic format, the expenditure amount for the physical format, and now we want to put that over a time period so we can forecast what will happen in the future. So let's get the year. We'll take the transaction date year. Here we go. You can see that's a calendar field. It's got that little picture of a clock next to it. That's what we want. So it's defaulting here to a stack. Let's say we don't want that one. Let's say we want instead, let's do it over here. Let's say instead of the auto stacked, let's say we want a line graph. And it's best here to have complete years, even though we're already at the end of 2025. Actually, we can stay at the end of 2025. If it was January 2025, then of course 2025 would be very low. But we can already see 2025 is already higher than 2024. So, and on the bottom here too, that's the physical format is the blue one. So we can leave 2025. So let's say we don't want, however, 2018. Let's take from 2019 to 2025. Let's put in an expression filter just to do the filter here. We're not yet on the topic of the forecast. We're simply making the workbook in which we want to use the forecast. So I'll say create expression filter, and let's say the year. I'll drag that transaction date year in here. You know what? Let's say 2019, 2024. We'll say is between 2019 and 2024, just so we're doing it as we should with complete years. If we were doing months, we could do up to November. It's now December 2008. Excuse me, December 8th, 2025. If we take all of 2025, now we really don't have a complete year. So we're good here. Now we're 2019 to 2024. Now, if we want to add a forecast here, we right-click. I right-clicked, so we see this menu here. And under Add Statistics, we have Forecast. So let's take the forecast. So what is it doing? It's giving us a default of 3 more periods. If you look here on the left in the grammar panel, we have forecast is on, method is next, periods is 3. So we're doing years. Years are our periods here. So we have 20 up to 2025, 2026, 2027 is another 3 periods after the 2024. We have a model being used as seasonal ARIMA. Now, these models, they're not Ex Libris, Clarivate, or even data visualization inventions. These are standard inventions of the statistics world. If I click here, I can choose seasonal ARIMA, ETS. Let's see what ARIMA is going to give us. We saw seasonal ARIMA goes up drastically on the electronic. Okay. Regular ARIMA is going more or less straight here, you can see. When I was on seasonal ARIMA, you can see the electronic is going right up. Let's see what ETS is doing. ETS looks more or less like the regular ARIMA. Now, what are these? If I were to come here and just do a basic search, ARIMA, ETS, forecast. Okay, so ARIMA. Oh, it's a acronym, Auto Regressive Integrated Moving Average. An ETS, error trend seasonality, or exponential smoothing. In any case, these, as we can see here, are not inventions of the data visualization or Ex Libris, Clarivate, etc. These are standards in the um, statistics world, let's call it. Let's come back and see what else we can do here. So I might want more than 3 periods, so I change that to 6. And I might want it to do the ETS, so I'll say ETS. So that's the forecasts, and then I can turn it off here by clicking I can remove it rather, by clicking the trash can icon here. Note that I'm here on the very top, I'm under properties, then I'm under the analytics here, and then I'm at this forecast. By the way, I could have also clicked the plus here to add it instead of the right click add statistics. I could have done the add statistics here. I can also turn it off like that. So I turned it off with this toggle button. Now I'm up to 2024 again, but I didn't remove it. I didn't click the trash can. All I did was unactivate it. And then I can reactivate it. There she is. Now, let's remove it though, and let's see the trend line. So now we still have 2019 to 2024, a comparison of, I'm going to switch back here, a comparison of the physical and the electronic format expenditures for 2019 to 2024. I may want to see a trend. Like we can see the electronic one went up quite a bit, then it kind of flattened out, then it even went down between 2022, 2023, then it's coming back up. But what's the overall trend? So we can say again, add statistics, trend line. I could have done that here as well. I'm in the properties now, add statistics. I'm in the grammar panel, properties, add statistics, and I'll say trend line. So now we've got a trend line. So we can see this one here is a general trend going up. It went up more, down, but the overall trend is it's going up. The overall trend here of the physical format is just straight across without going up, without going down. And we can change this as well. For example, instead of dotted, maybe I want it dashed, or maybe I want it solid, or let's put it dashed and I can make it wider, etc. So now we have it dashed at 5 pixels, the trend, and we can see that electronic expenditures from 2019 to 2024 is a gradual rise, even though we know it's going up and down, but we can see via that trend line that it's overall, it's straight going up like that. Okay, let's take another example while we're at it. Let's say we want to know, what about our loans? So let's come back here. We won't save this one. We'll create a new workbook here. And this time we'll choose fulfillment. Here we are. And let's say we want the number of loans not in house. And let's say we want here, again, like I stated before, we need some kind of a pattern, a chronological pattern. Let's put in the loan year. Oh, let's get rid of that. I dragged it into here. We will delete that one and we'll drag it into here. Okay. And let's make this a table. Okay. And it really starts, we can see here, the big numbers start at 2019. So let's say this time we'll do it a little different. This time I'll say keep only like this, keep selected. All right, so I did the filter a little different, but again, we have complete years 2019 to 2024. Let's see what's happening here. So let's put it in a line graph first of all. And look at that big dip from 2019 to 2020 to 2021. It still dipped, but it not quite as drastically. That's probably related to the COVID. Then it came back up 2021 to 2022. Then it kind of came down again between 2022 and 2023, and then up a little bit 2023 to 2024. That'll be interesting with the trend. Let's try the trend on that one, just because it looks so interesting. So I did a right click, add statistics, trend line. Straight across. So the overall trend, we see it going up and down, but the overall trend is it's going straight across. If overall someone were to say, what is the amount for the year? Overall, between six to around 70,000 straight across. I'm going to duplicate this and look at the table just for fun. Let's say edit, duplicate visualization, because it's right around there at the 70. So out of curiosity, let's see what we've got here in the table. That looks about right that it should be 70, because if you look here, the overall would be about 70. We got pretty low, 54, 57, a 70, then we got more than 70. Yep, okay. So that's the trend line. We already saw that we can make the trend line look a little different here. Let's get rid of this visualization now. We don't need that one. And so we already saw that I can change it from dotted to solid, et cetera, et cetera. I can change the pixels. All right. Now let's see what kind of forecast we've got here. So I'm going to remove the trend line, although we could leave the trend line and put in a forecast. In fact, let's even do that. So I'm going to change this to the dashed. And now let's right click, add statistics, and now we'll add a forecast. Now we have the trend and the forecast in there. So it's defaulting here to the seasonal ARIMA. And the forecast is exactly like the trend line, if you see that. It just continues right around the 70K. That's the seasonal ARIMA. Let's see what the others are doing. So instead of seasonal ARIMA, we'll choose regular ARIMA. And so regular ARIMA goes up just a bit, similar to the seasonal ARIMA. Let's see what ETS is all about. ETS, little higher than the ARIMA. Let's see one more time. I think the ARIMA was right on the trend line. Seasonal ARIMA. Yeah, seasonal ARIMA is right on the trend line. So those are the different forecasts we can add. That's the trend line we can add. They're added when there is a measure which is going over time, typically in a line graph. And thanks a lot for joining us on this session on the forecast and the trend line in data visualization, and we will see you soon. Have a nice day.